Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today we're going to do something we've done for the last couple of expansions and mini sets. It's a lot of fun, and take a look at what the best and the worst performing cards from the latest mini set, Onyxia's Lair, have been, but we use it using HS replay statistics. We sort through the cards and use their data using Diamond through Legend and filtering it by the mini set, and well, we'll see what the absolute most broken cards are tomorrow, but today we're going to start off with what the absolute worst cards have been so far from Onyxia's Lair. And again, I go by like deck win rate and through Diamond through Legend. It's subjective, but I think it's kind of a decent little indicator of what the best cards and the worst cards have been. And well, it's just a lot of fun. So well, let's get into it. So starting off at number 10, we have a rogue spell, Tooth of Nefarian, which is a spell that reads deal 3 damage as honorable kill, discover a spell from another class. It is in 0.3% of decks, has a deck win rate of 42.9% and has been played 4,200 times since Onyxia Lair has come out. Again, this is times played through Diamond through Legend and with people that use HS replay, but again, it's a fun little indicator. So yeah, Tooth of Nefarian, 3 mana, deal 3, not great. It can go face, and the honorable kill isn't even that awesome. Like, this could almost basically be a 2-mana card. We saw like the Shaman spell honorable kill card that deals 3 and makes your next opponent's spell cost 2 more. Basically, Tooth of Nefarian could kind of fall in the category, but Rogue's not exactly itching for more burn. They have good options, and hell, it's not even the worst performing card so far. So yes, not performing very well, but there are some cards doing even worse. And next we have Gear Grubber at number 9. 4 mana, 4/5 neutral taunt. If you end your turn with any unspent mana, reduce this card's cost by 1. This is in 0.09% of decks, is a 41.2% deck win rate, and has been played all of 1,000 times. That's kind of sad. And well, the card itself, why are you playing Gear Grubber? Like, you can maybe coin it out on turn 2 if you floated some mana. Is that good in today's Hearthstone? No. Would that be good like 3 years ago? It'd be okay. But even in classic Hearthstone, you were innervating Yetis out on turn 1. Well, you could innervate out or lightning bloom out a Gear Grubber, but I think you'd rather do some more broken and degenerate things than that. At number 8, we have a warrior spell, 1 mana, hit it very hard. It gives your hero 10 attack this turn, but it can't go face, and it's in 0.1% of decks, has a deck win rate of 39.5%, and has been played 1,600 times. And you take a look at this card, it's 1 mana, kill pretty much anything. That's not bad, but can't go face. And even in Wild, where you have like Ogre, Warmull, and Mayor Noggenfogger that can kind of let you go face, it still doesn't quite work out very well. It's just a removal card that Warrior doesn't need, and you kind of have to face tank, and it's just clunky. It's not good, and it hasn't really found a reliable home. At number 7, we have Curse of Agony, the Warlock spell, another 1 mana spell. Shuffle 3 agonies into the opponent's deck that deal fatigue damage when drawn. This is in 3% of decks. It's been played a lot. It's in 38.7% deck win rate and has been played 41,000 times. People have really tried to make Curse of Agony work. They like the fatigue strategy, even though it's kind of a little bit degenerate and all of that. But yes, the card itself not performing particularly well. This doesn't factor in Wild, by the way, which does have an OTK. You can use like Cold Light Oracles and Togwaggle, but again, not really making the cut even there. There's just better OTKs. And yes, this deck this card, you just can't reliably make your opponent draw Curse of Agonies. It just doesn't quite work out. And you can do some strats. I think the popular one is after someone plays Kazakhstan, and then you delete their deck with Ticketus and then shuffle in Curse of Agonies. It's spectacular, but as you can tell by the numbers, not all that consistent. So yes, not doing particularly well. And speaking of that, at number 6, we have the new mage spell, Deep Breath. Yes, mage is sadly very present on this list. 5 mana spell that deals 1 damage to a minion and its neighbors. It's approved by the amount of spells in your hand. It's just not very good, and it's only in 0.2% of decks, 38.4% deck win rate, and played only 2,000 times. There's just better removal in mage. It's like a 5 mana combustion. Like, it's just not good. And I've drafted this in like duels where I have like +2 spell damage and stuff, and it's still, it's okay. But yeah, not really a slot for this anywhere, but maybe if a big spell mage actually becomes good, that's very spell based at some point, maybe you play it and it's like average, not amazing. So yes, that's the first 5. What's our top 5? Well, number 5, we do have a card that I tried to believe it would be good. I really did. At number 5, we have the Mage Legendary Halle Matron Protectorate, the very expensive Flame Waker. 8 mana, 4/12 dragon. After you cast a spell, deal 4 damage randomly split amongst all enemies. It's in 0.6% of decks, 37.2% deck win rate, and yeah, it's been played around 3,300 times. It's just too expensive, and you have cards like Mizaki in Standard that are just better than it. I still think it'll probably maybe see play someday, but they're gonna have to brute force it with like playing a card that's like the next dragon you play costs 1 mana, and then it'll be good because it'll be 1 mana. But other than that, yeah, Halle's living up to its hype of kind of being bad, and it's not the worst card so far from Onyxia's Lair, but it is definitely up there. At number 4, we have a Warlock spell, 6 mana fell spell, Infestation. Summon a 3/3 Dread Imp to attack each enemy minion. It's in 0.2% of decks, 36.3% deck win rate, and only played 760 times. This requires your opponent to have a cheap little board for it to be any good, and those just don't really exist in Hearthstone, especially in a Kazakhstan meta or an OTK meta or hyper aggro meta. It's just pretty much all those exist right now, not working very well. And plus, Warlock just has way better removal. It's too expensive. You can do way better stuff for cheaper. Maybe later on down the road it'll see some play, but as it stands right now, still not making the cut. And at number 3, we have another Warlock card. I think every Warlock card is on here. That's pretty sad for Warlock if there's only the 3. I think there's only the 3. We have Spawn of Deathwing, 5 mana, 6/6 dragon, Battlecry. Destroy a random enemy minion, discard a random card. This is in 0.05% of decks, 35.6% win rate, and only played 420 times because there's no home for this card. This is a good card. It honestly is a good card, but there's no place for it right now. There's no discard synergies going on in Standard outside of one card, really, with like Hand of Gul'dan. Zoo's not a thing. The aggro strategies in Warlock aren't a thing. Spawn of Deathwing doesn't have a spot. I do believe it's a good card. It just has nowhere to go at the moment, and the numbers really show that, as no one's really playing it because, well, there's nowhere for it to go. At number 2, we have a terrible, terrible Demon Hunter spell. Keen Reflex, 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, honorable kill, gain +1 attack this turn in 0.2% of decks, 32.6% win rate, played 2,200 times. This is a bad hero power in duels. And that's duels where the hero powers are supposed to be kind of broken and better than your average hero power. And this is a spell you have to put into your deck to replicate that. And unless you're killing off a bunch of your own stuff and doing a bunch of damage, which is never really worth it, this card sucks, and the numbers don't lie. It is bad, but it is not the worst card on the list. And at number 1, I am not shocked at all by this. The Rogue spell, Smokescreen, 8 mana spell. Draw 5 cards, trigger any death rattles drawn. It is in 0.2% of decks. It's a deck win rate of 31.7% and has been played 1,900 times. It's a bad card. It's 8 mana, draw 5 in a world where Secret Passage exists. 1 mana, draw 4, used to draw 5. Yes, you can get some death rattles, but they're all bad and they're very expensive, and they get stuck in your hand and you're dead. And it's just 8 mana, even with prep, and you got to get some coins with like a shark. It's just brutal. The card sucks, and maybe one day it'll be good, but right now it is the worst performing card from Onyxia's Lair. So if you guys enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe, and tomorrow we'll take a look at the best cards from Onyxia's Lair. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.